You know, this is not how you win your fan base back. Just saying. Well, hello there, guys. Thank you guys for checking out the channel. My name is Vitafly. I hope you guys are doing great out there. I keep hitting this mic. I will figure out because I get so animated and I move my hands around a lot and I keep bumping into my mic just like that. I hope you guys are doing well out there, true believers, and I will really like you if you will like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I am working on currently a couple of videos right now. That's why these have been coming out a little slow, but at the same time, I have no doubt that I have time for you guys out there and just kind of have a good time talking about different pop culture and different media stuff. As you can see, my sewing machine's behind me. I've been working on a new cosplay, and I can't wait to start posting the progress on that one. So once I get that, I'll make like a little montage video and post that on the interwebs, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. Today's story is basically about Halo. The season 2 will be coming out later this year on Paramount Plus after the reviews for season 1 and how the fans very much vehemently hated the Halo series. I didn't watch it. I didn't put any time into it. After I saw a couple of clips, I was like, this is not for me, Chief. This is not for me, Chief. I basically was just seeing other people's reactions to it and very much kind of was glad I didn't waste my time watching that. So recently, Pablo Schreiber, the actor who plays John 117, Spartan 117, came out in an interview basically more or less slamming the fans, and I have to be completely honest with you at this point. I don't understand what's Hollywood's obsession with just trying to dunk the chuds. It's kind of getting really annoying, and it's kind of getting a little disrespectful at this point. She-Hulk did it when they try to get the toxic fans, but in all reality, all what you were actually doing was destroying your actual fan base that wanted to support you as well, and you were dunking on them for whatever strange reason. I see this with a couple other stars, Rachel Zegler, with her infamous interviews and everything like that. I don't understand what is the obsession with coming into something and then destroying it and then turning around and saying that you're the bad person because you didn't accept what we gave you. Does that make sense? Because that doesn't make sense to me. So Pablo Schreiber, more or less in an interview, kind of insulted the fans and said that more or less you are not a Halo fan if you don't understand the element of John not wearing his mask. So in one of the clips from the interview, he says that it was very important early on that the helmet comes off. You see the face and you dissociate your version of who you believe the Chief was, rather than be co-creator of the experience as you go along and believing that you're Chief. We're now inviting you to sit back on the couch and watch Chief start to discover elements of himself. Which, okay, I guess, but that's just a easy way of saying that I didn't want to wear the helmet for the entire season because stars have a certain obligation to not wear their helmets, especially because they want to have FaceTime and things like that. And I kind of really disagree with this statement, because if this is the case, then I don't know, a character like Din Djarin really shouldn't. I mean, look at Din Djarin, but that was peak acting with and without the helmet. I don't understand the excuse. I think this is just a way of trying to say that I really want to have my face seen on camera, which is just a very slimy and arrogant way of putting things. He later states in the interview that in order to examine the discrepancies between these two versions of the character, Chief and John 117, you can tell that the story without taking the helmet off. If you don't agree with the helmet coming off in the show, you don't like our show, so there's no point discussing it. So this is where it comes down to where I've more or less kind of given up with a lot of media today. And actually one of my videos is going to be talking about representation in media, because it seems like people nowadays don't understand that when you have certain elements or you are taking care of a franchise that is beloved by many, they expect you, the producers or directors or actors, to show as much concern and care about those things as they put into them. They are spending their hard-earned money and their time to basically go see what you're doing with their favorite franchises. And if you keep just basically shitting on them and basically trying to tear them apart, they're not going to be obligated to go watch this stuff. The arrogance that a lot of these Hollywood actors, directors, writers, whomever seem to not understand is that before you came, these things were built on a fan base that were willing to be behind it 100%, 10%. Before you came, there were people who were buying books, toys, merchandise, shirts, things before you came and decided to ruin it. This is the type of behavior that I just get so tired of seeing, and it just has turned me off from geekdom and a lot of the nerd stuff that I used to love so much. They've done it with Star Wars, they've done it with Lord of the Rings, they've done it with Star Trek, they've done it with Doctor Who. And yes, once again, I understand that Doctor Who and Star Trek have always been progressive, but at the same time, they were subtle about that and didn't beat you over the head. We accepted those characters like Jack and the Doctor and what we saw with the different characters in the series. We accepted them for who they were because they had great writing around them, and everything else came afterwards. The problem is that we are now living in a time where we need activist writers to write stories. This is not me because, not me saying that this is a woke thing or a anti-woke thing. My whole point is this: we need to get entertainment back to the middle line, where basically you can still tell a message and still have a story at the same time. And I fear that there's not many writers left in Hollywood that are smart enough to do that. And yet we keep getting responses from actors and people like this who keep coming down and thinking they're coming down from on high to teach us lowly people a message. I've said this so many times before, and I'll say this so many times again. It is not your job to teach the people a message. If it comes out that way, fine. It is your job to entertain the people. That is what they're paying you for. And that's all there is to it. I think that's the thing that's being missed across the board with art in general. Art has lost a lot of this, and it's now people are too afraid to challenge thought. And rather challenging thought, they conform with the idea and they work with those constraints of the idea. This is never an okay statement to make to anybody. To basically tell the fans that you don't get it. No, we get it. We just don't like the direction that you're taking things. I am vehemently, seriously trying my best to just kind of be in the middle. And I know a lot of people have disagreed with this thought process, but I think the best way to basically attack this subject matter is from both sides. Understanding the side that wants to make changes in society, but at the same time also understanding the side that wants to make entertainment for society. You have to have a mesh of both in the middle, and just randomly attack your fans or act like there's an oppressed class in a fandom or something like that is absolutely disgustingly disingenuous. This is something that cannot go on, and I'm tired of seeing this happen over and over and over again. We have a moral right to complain about certain things, especially if we are paying our hard-earned money or paying our time to see these products and watching your shows or playing your games. It's like the director from Spider-Man 2 was the same way, where more or less he said he didn't give a shit about how you felt about the Mary Jane side missions. And honestly, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. If you're telling your fandom that is paying you money, I want to be very clear about this, paying you money to make their favorite game, you should probably listen to your fandom. And this just bewildered behavior that I have seen from Hollywood and the gaming industry and the comic book industry, where it seems like they purposely want you mad, is just really freaking weird. And I'm not gonna pretend like, oh, I just woke up to this yesterday. I've been seeing this since 2011, since I stopped reading comic books back in 2015. I've seen this pattern of behavior of these random attacks, especially upon nerd culture. Once again, when you call a Lord of the Rings fan racist, you got me there, buddy. At the end of the day, what I have to say is this: you choose with your wallet and you choose with your time. If you want to watch the season 2 of Halo, be my guest. Me personally, I will not be watching this stuff. I will not be indulging in behaviors that are of a spoiled child that will rather go around and attack the fandom than sit there and be like, they might have a point. This is never okay. If you have a fan base or you're cultivating a fan base, don't attack your fan base. Listen to them. Sometimes they have great advice. Sometimes they have great critiques. And then some of them are just douchebags, and they're just going to be douchebags. And I'll admit that sometimes that happens in fandoms. But it is never okay to attack your fandom. Period. This is what I've said with Star Wars when they tagged so many people during 2020 when they were using their Twitter accounts to just basically hunt other people down for just disagreeing with them, and then they want to turn around and be like, Star Wars is for everyone, but yet we don't want a certain type of demographic there. And it's not the toxic people, it's just people that are asking questions, and yet they're being attacked. You can't have it both ways. Either you want it for everyone, which I always say, if it's for everyone, it's meant for nobody, or you just want the demographic that actually cares about the product and is willing to give you money to support the product. What Pablo is basically saying here is telling me to not watch the show. So I guess since I'm not really a true Halo fan, because, I just want Master Chief to wear his helmet, and I was really hoping that they were going to do something different and learn their mistakes from season 1. Especially if you watch the clips from the finale, it looks like, okay, this is what this show should have been from the jump. But no, it doesn't look like they're going to learn their lesson. And I have no obligation to give them money or give them my time, because I have other things I could be doing, like, sewing. But I hope you guys are having a great rest of your day. Please keep your head above water. I know it's tough out there, and I know it's kind of hard. I'm going through a lot of crap myself. But I want you guys to know that you guys are amazing and you are seriously wanted on this earth. So keep going, guys. I love you, true believers. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.